Here we can see that I have signed on to a ShareAspace installation hosted in Azure. I've landed on the collection side of ShareAspace, and here I can see a set of spaces that I've been invited to. One of these spaces is called IoT, and this space is actually based on the template configuration that I described earlier. So navigating down into this space, we can see that I have two module configurations, one for managing the serialized assets called the individuals, and I have one module for managing my sensors. I also have an authoring module here dealing with documents and parts. So what I will start by entering this authoring module, and we can see that I have a set of parts here. So this is the design for a cylinder head assembly, and this cylinder head assembly has an assembly structure that we can go ahead and look at, where it has two bearing housing. If I move back to the authoring module, I can also do a where used analysis. So I can ask the system what serialized assets has been produced based on this design. So by selecting my part, we have a cylinder head assembly, and I select where used. There is a where used query called individuals based on part. So selecting that query, I then get a response back where I can see I have a whole set of serialized assets based on this part. We can move ahead and have a look at this serialized asset in something called the individual structure. So we'll look at the as maintained structure within ShareAspace for the serialized asset. And we can see that this cylinder head, the serialized asset with the serial number, consists of two other serial number tracked components for the bearing housings. On these serialized items, I also have a set of sensors registered. So we can see there's an ET00135 on this individual, and I have an ET00136 and a sensor called 0025. So what I want to do now, say for instance this 0025 is broken. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to replace my broken 0025 sensor. What I need to do then is to register a new sensor, make sure that this sensor ends up as a device in Azure IoT Hub so that I can start getting the readings from it. The first thing we'll have a look at is if I go back to this authoring module here, I have a part representing my temperature and humidity sensor. And if I run the same kind of query as I did before, we can see that there is already a whole set of sensors based on this design. One of which is this 0025 that was mounted onto a serialized asset in the as maintained structure. Before I register the new sensor, we're going to have a look inside Azure IoT Hub to see what devices are there, and then we're also going to have a quick look at the custom connector and the logic app that we'll be using to do this integration.